This is the fifth jewel, Justice. You know, and I'm out here with the Ellis family. My family's over there. You know what I'm saying? We out here, we enjoying ourselves. This is the first time going to Washington, D.C. It's a blessing to even partake in this. This is a getaway from my home and everything. But like I really like to thank the Ellis family for having us. You know what I'm saying, and taking good care of us down here. You know what I'm saying, and making the bomb pancakes. Education is very important, you know what I'm saying, because without it, you know, you can't grow, you can't develop. So we really, you can't get a C in the household, you know what I'm saying, so that's real important. Communication is very important. So the more you know, the more you can communicate. We communicate in different ways. We use hip hop to educate, you know what I'm saying, throwing different things in the hip hop. My music and everything is to teach my kids first and foremost. Family jewels, ancestral genius, rubies and pearls sparkle on the ceilings of my mind. My mausoleum, wicked minds can't see them. Telescopes can't vision my thoughts, nor can satellites retrieve them. I see the God in you, self-accusing spirit bombing you, then arming you. Stop the devil from conning you into oppressed states of reality. Self-execution, subliminal self-destruction. Families can't function. We at war. The battlefield is in the core. Chemicals getting sucked up through your pores. Ballistics with no aim nor purpose. Bodies hit the floor. We must give the youth more so they can explore what was never told about the roads, about the goals, about the loopholes, about the energies that bring about the self-destruction mode, about the knowledge, about the wisdom, about understanding near realities, which is black gold. Education, you can't do too much without education. You have to, I say is you have to really get an education of who you are. That's another thing that we try to teach our kids, us, you know, everybody in the household, is basically understanding who you are. Educate yourself, your feelings, who you are as a person, individually. You know, what is it that you like, what is your dislikes, but really to understand on that level as far as like who you are as a person. Educate yourself, you know what I'm saying? So education is very important in the household. Very important. Me and my wife, you know what I'm saying? We did it a little late, but we got our education. You know, I deal with psychology. My queen, she deals with, you know, early childhood development. So we went and did that so we could show our kids that, you know what, you have to continue, keep doing, don't stop. You know what I'm saying? But another thing, do not let the education system hinder you or limit you. You know what I'm saying? You use the education system to advance and to go to the next level. You don't ever sit there and say just because you got this degree or this or whatever, that this is all you're going to be able to do. Nah, you know, utilize that education and take it to the next level. But the most important education is that what you see. The most important is the relationship, what you learn. The education and what you learn is more important than the person in the relationship. I know that sounds crazy, it's deep, but for real, that's what it is. Because the education between me and my dad was like this. My dad was he was a gigolo. He did this, he did all that. But it was more important for me to understand that that's not what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So with my kids and everything, I want them to learn more about, you know what I'm saying, the relationship with the person I am, who I am, and everything, so they can break cycles, so they could advance. But that's more that education between, you know, you know, everybody in the family. You know what I'm saying? What they learn from the relationship is more important than that person in that relationship. Don't sit there and follow, I'm gonna be like such and such. Nah, be like yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's it. We can go on. You know, I just give you a little something. I feel it's very important because what happens is without the father, there's a lot of discipline, you know, and just that masculine energy is not there. So without the masculine energy there, you know what I'm saying, it tends to affect that child. And so with the gardening and everything, I feel like we could just bring the kids out, you know what I'm saying, we teaching them, you know what I'm saying, different things as far as like how to grow their own vegetables, you know what I'm saying, as far as like economics, from the seed to the market, just to build the bond with nature. That's some of the stuff. But at the same time, you know, we're there and we're hands-on with them and just talking to them. And I treat them just like when I'm with my kids, you know what I'm saying, I talk to them and build with them and just do, you know, just give them some type of advice, you know what I'm saying, that hopefully I can't make them do something, but I could just arm them, give them some things that and you know, I can give it to them, and it's really up to them to use it. Hopefully they'll be in a situation where they could actually take that information and do something with it. But yeah, it's very important as far as like you know, the father, his presence, you know what I'm saying? So to all fathers, that's something that we have to deal with as far as like really getting back to being fathers and just being fathers to our kids, and those kids that don't have a father, be a father to them, you know what I'm saying? Just little things, just talking to them, you know, and this all goes back to the 80s, and we in Washington, D.C., it goes back to the 80s, to that crack era, you know what I'm saying? So when the crack hit the communities, it did a lot, you know what I'm saying? It was like a bomb, an atom bomb, and a lot of the families got broken up. So when the families got broken up, you know, the family home, the structure, everything, it started falling in. So this is the byproduct of that, where we at right now, you know what I'm saying? So we need to get ourselves together, get the mother energy, the father energy, and we need to get ourselves together and get the family back, because without the family, there's no universe. Meaning, understanding, you know what I'm saying, on how life is supposed to be. That's her purpose is to exist, to live, you know what I'm saying, to do the things that we're doing right now. We out here with the family just enjoying ourselves, you know, and this is what we're supposed to do, is build, you know what I'm saying, and just to actually exist as a family. Just like the flower, that's another thing what we do when we teach the kids, as far as like with the gardening, is each of us has a gardener within us, you know, and so we want to teach the kids to develop that gardener, you know what I'm saying, and develop those seeds of the good grades, you know, the different things that they need to mature as a child, you know what I'm saying. Well, I think it's very important to be a role model to your own children, you know what I'm saying, because like I said, that education between the child and parent is very important. And I said it's more important than that person in that relationship. So that means that, you know, as far as like with my child, when my daughter knows or understands the education she gets from our relationship is going to take her to another level. You see what I'm saying? So it's very important for me to set that standard through action. You see what I'm saying? So through action, you know, I'm going back to school. I got a 9 to 5. I'm in the community. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now I'm on for real. That's it. That beautiful scenery. I'm in the community. I'm not saying that on an egotistical thing, but I'm saying that, you know what I'm saying, I'm watering those seeds. I'm a gardener in my house. You see what I'm saying? So I'm watering those qualities that I feel that my kids need, you know what I'm saying, so that they can grow and develop and be, you know, on that level of success. So I know you had to give back, you know, so what happens is I'm giving back. When I give back, I want my kids to see that. You know, I want them to do that when they get of age. I want them to know that in order to get what you want in life, you got to give toward it, you know, whatever it is. But it's real important, you know what I'm saying, to be that role model. And even if you're doing something wrong or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is, you know, don't hide and do all the other crazy. Go and, you know, express this is what we're going through. You know what I'm saying? This is it's what happens is the kids are looking and watching how to develop a family. And if that family is not there and you're not playing that role as daddy and she's not playing that role as mommy, then what happens is the kids don't really have no education on how to deal with family issues when they get of age. You see what I'm saying? So it's real important that you as a family, you start to deal with certain situations and together. You know, last night was crazy. You know, when we came out, I'm gonna just get this into get this to y'all about the car. Last night we in VA, we come out and the truck is gone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sick. I'm frustrated. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna let them walk by. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick and I'm frustrated because I'm like, dang, I come out, my truck gone, I'm out of town. I'm like, somebody took the truck. They robbed us. I'm like, I'm going crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know, you know, what was going on, what the situation was, but the kids was there, and we were frustrated, but we found out they towed the truck. But it was like, you know, my kids handled it good, you know what I'm saying? It was like, and me and my kids, we dialogued and we talked about it, and we was like, yeah, you know, it happens. It's not what happens to you, it's how you deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So out of that, there was an education, even though we went through whatever it is what we went through, but you know, the Creator puts us in situations. And my daughter, she was like, you know what, Daddy? The Creator ain't gonna ever put you, she put this on my Facebook, Creator ain't gonna ever give you too much that you can't handle. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, I needed that. So it was like, with her, I told her, I said, you know, I look at us like the Incredibles. And that's how you gotta be like that. In this day and age, the family is under attack. So I tell my kids, we the Incredibles. Use your powers. Let's use our powers to keep that stuff back. You know what I'm saying? To defend our home, to defend our family unit, you gotta use them powers. And them powers could be, you know what I'm saying, just not being destructive, using your energy in a correct way. You know what I'm saying? So use the powers to help develop that family. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do as far as like at our home. And so I'm just telling you, I'm just giving you a little simple situation. Last night, they towed the car. We was sick. We was in the middle of nowhere. But, you know, we handle it. We happy. We here. We with the Ellises. We out here. We in Washington, D.C. looking all the different things. The spirits. There's so much spiritual energy out here, you know. And my kids is witnessing that. You know what I'm saying? Is like I was saying, is I think we're dealing with a situation that happened in the early 80s, and I feel like when crack hit Steubenville, it did a lot to the structure. A lot of families were broken up, including in my family. I have a lot of situations, and I seen it on hand, you know, what happened. So, you know, basically I feel like that's what we're dealing with. And the only way that we can actually get out of that state, because I think we're in the dark ages right now in Steubenville. Really, if you really look at it, every night we got some shooting stuff that's going on, and I think the leadership has to unite before the people can unite. So that means on the level of leadership that we have to actually develop a unity, and we've been trying to do that, and I think that's something that we have to work towards. But it's crazy. A lot of the kids, it's the 80s babies that's out there that's doing a lot of different things. And if you look at each case, you see a lot of these kids, they grew up, they didn't have family. They didn't have the family that and I'm blessed to have, they're fortunate to have, they didn't have all that. So, but the thing is, they try to give them justice as if they had the family. You know, they don't look at that, that's nothing. And then let's go into the psychological part. The mind don't even develop until the age of 23, 24. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of emotions that's going on in Steubenville. I think this is an anger, and we're in the dark ages. And the only way that we're going to get out of that is to elevate. And we need to develop that spirit. Because right now, and we exist on 7 levels. And right now, we're on that emotional state. We have to rise out of that emotional state, get our mind right, mentally, right? And then we have to deal with some culture. That's that. But if your mind ain't right, wham, you ain't gonna really get it right, because you allow everything to come into your mind and affect you. But we gotta get our mind right. Once we get our mind right, we get our culture right, then we start working on our creative energy and creative powers, and then we're gonna be able to see a lot of things. And then that's when we seeing things, that's when we're gonna come into that understanding, and we're gonna grow and we develop and we have that unity. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we gotta do. But this is a beautiful sight. I'm having a visual stimuli here. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Steubenville, like we got to get these kids out of here. out of Steubenville and let them experience this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Kids ain't getting it. They ain't experiencing a lot of things. All they experience, a lot of just going to Walmart, going to the pool. That's not enough. So we need all y'all, the nonprofit organizations that's out there, what y'all doing. I think that we need to start really working on the experience. You know what I'm saying? Giving them buses. Coming up here, you know what I'm saying, and looking at and really giving them history, because in order for you to have a better, you know, as far as education, you got to have a connection. You know, and that means that when they come here and they see that Tekken, or they see this right here, that's Egypt right there. That's the symbol of creation right there. So when they see that, then they, you know, they may go into a higher self and say, dang, I want to look more into that. But they connected. They see it in the movie. They're like, dang, I seen that in the movie. I was there. I touched that. Wow, that's something. That's deep. You know, they need to have that. They need to experience more real instead of the artificial. And there's a lot of artificial experiences that's happening in Steubenville. So we need to have more real experiences with the kids, the babies, families. That's what they need. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is a real experience right here. And everybody should experience this. The Martin Luther King monument, all that, that's a real experience. You know what I'm saying? Just to be able to sit there and he had the dream speech. You know, I had a dream speech was right there. Wow, to stand there and just think about the 60s was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was powerful. Because he dealt with peace, he dealt with justice. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. Anybody who deals with peace and deals with justice, I respect that. But you know what I'm saying? For our Steubenville, we got to get ourselves together as far as like with our mind right. Got to get our mind right. Got to get our spirit right. You know what I'm saying? Because we spiritual beings. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So what happens is we lose our memory. We lost our memory, and we think we just here, and we falling victim to the human side of us when we spiritual. So we need to develop that spirit. You know what I'm saying? And the only way we could do that is having real experiences. You know what I'm saying? Existence is essence. Peace. Anything else? I go on forever.